Hello and welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. This is the part 2 of the economy lecture or the economy concepts lecture. We have already explored multiple different things such as I'll just make a quick revision for you. Okay, so we started out here and then learned about the debate between the economic inequality as well as economic growth. Where does it lead to? We saw what is the Gini coefficient. We saw the inequality over the years in India and the economic growth of India in terms of GDP. Then we saw how growth rate versus inequality affect a country differently when it has high GDP versus a low GDP. Then we see the pros and cons of having a let's say growth or inequality. Okay, then we saw that how monopoly targets the poor and how their real wages and money wages get different just because of the supply restraints caused by the millionaires or billionaires or the entrepreneurs of the industry. Okay, then we saw that how in Indian industry multiple companies have a monopoly in multiple markets such as this. All right, then we understood that how a markup can be caused in a price to make it let's say increased than how it was supposed to be if there is monopoly, how the money wages versus real wage get affected by the inflation, and finally what is greedflation. All right, an artificial inflation created just because of the greed. Now it's time for us to understand the next concept, which is the deadweight loss. Okay, so let's understand this graph first. A few things we'll understand in this graph and then move to the next graph, which will break down this graph in one to other things. Okay, so let's understand the demand curve first. So what is the demand curve? Demand curve basically a curve that shows us the nature of demand. The nature of demand. So what does the nature of demand or law of demand say? Law of demand say that when a curve is drawn between the price and the quantity demanded by people, okay, so as the price will decrease, the quantity demanded will increase. Okay, here we see the price is reduced from P1 to P3 and the quantity demanded has increased from here to here. It has come from here to Q1 to Q3. Alright, so what do we see? That it is a going low curve, going down curve. That when the price decrease, the quantity increase like this. Okay, it can also be like this. It can also be like anything. Okay, just the concept will remain same. Okay, the concept will remain same, that it will go down. All right, and now let's come to the supply curve. So what do we see in the supply curve? Here is the supply curve. What do we see? That as the price is increasing, the supply is also increasing. Or on the other hand, we can say the opposite, that as the supply increases, the price also increases. Okay, this we are talking irrespective of the economics of scale. Because some students may have a doubt, they will say that if I manufacture in a car in my home, at my home, in a home garage, then it will cost a lot. All right, and if someone produces it in a factory, then it will be costing less. Okay, now we are not talking in this level. Okay, that is a very big level of the scale. We are talking in the simple terms of the law of supply. So what we are saying, when the supply increases, okay, that means there will be more factories, there will be more workers, there will be more wages to be paid because they are overworking. So there will be higher cost of production. There will also be profit or profit motive. Okay, a person who is supplying more of something will try to get profit from that thing also. There will also be opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means, let's say I can make a car and something else, let's say a vessel. Okay, now this vessel is giving me 100 rupees per vessel. Okay, and I am having two machines. One is producing this and one is producing a car, let's say second thing. Okay, so what I will say that, okay, let's not produce the vessel only if the car is selling more. Also employ the second machine in this thing. So my this machine has lost its opportunity and it is let's say feeding resources to the car now. So this is known as the opportunity cost. So what does the law of supply say? That as the supply increases, the price also increases. So it's an upward going graph. Okay, retrospective to the downward going graph of the demand. Okay, so here we saw that if we make a graph, the demand will go up and the supply will go down. Now there will be a crossing point. This crossing point is known as the equilibrium. Okay, where price versus quantity demanded or quantity supply, quantity demanded or quantity supplied, there will reach an equilibrium. That one point will come where the price will be very justified and people will be happy purchasing that thing. Okay, and the supply will also be constant. That means if you make 100 let's say quantity of that product, if you supply 100 quantity of that product, then 100 out of 100 quantities will be sold immediately. Okay, and nobody will be wanting any one extra quantity, and not even 99 of your quantities will be remaining unsold. All of them will be sold, all of them will be desired, and no extra demand, no extra supply. But this does not happen. This does not happen. That is why we see inefficiency. So anything is inefficiency. What is inefficiency? Inefficiency is, let's say, just a second, I'll reduce this. Okay, inefficiency is, let's say there are 100 people wanting something, that means 100 demand, but supply is not like this. Supply is, let's say, 70. Otherwise, what is inefficiency? That there is 70 demand and oversupply in the market, let's say 100 supply. Okay, so this is causing some sort of inefficiency either to the producer, or to the consumer. So this is known as inefficiency. Inefficiency. Okay, so what does this inefficiency lead to? It will lead to deadweight loss. Whenever there is an inefficiency, there is a deadweight loss. So how to see the deadweight loss? So now you easily understand, this is the supply curve. This is the supply curve. And this is the demand curve. So it is very natural that supply is rising like this, demand is falling like this. Okay, this I have both explained to you. Now what happens? There is a price ceiling. Okay, there is a price ceiling. Price ceiling means somebody decides, the manufacturer or the demand, or somebody decides that there will be an MRP of 100 rupees. Okay, so regardless of the increasing demand or supply, whatever happens, the price will remain same. So let's see what happens in this scenario. So let's see, here is a point of free market equilibrium. But what happens? The price regarding to free market equilibrium is this. This is, we can say this is P1. Okay, now what happens? The price ceiling is introduced. Okay, here a price ceiling is introduced. So the price falls to this point. Here this is known as P2. Here we can say this is P2. Now what happens? That because the price has reduced, because the price ceiling is introduced, the supply will fall back. Okay, the supply will be lessened, because we saw that this is the supply curve as per the price curve. So now let's say on this P2 the supply is here, but as we see that on this supply the demand is this. This is the demand. Okay, now demand is exceeding the supply by a lot. So this area under graph is obtained. This is known as the deadweight loss. What is the deadweight loss here? Basically, that people are demanding, but supply is not present. Okay, so this is the deadweight loss.